Arun,
Yes, sir.
are we through?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, Professor Parimal Vyas, former Chairman and Managing Director of GSFC, respected Shri S.K. Nanda sir, the Head Directorate of National Service Scheme, New Delhi, Dr. Kamal Kumar Kaur, Professor M.N. Parmar, the Dean Faculty of Management Studies, the Dean Faculty of Social Work and the Director of NSS, the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, Professor Jagdish Solanki, Program Coordinator of NSS, Professor Sunita Nambiar, Senate and Syndicate members, Deans of Faculties, Heads of Departments, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार, आपका स्वागत है इस कार्यक्रम में. I welcome you all to this important program on building of youth. May I now request Professor Jagdish Solanki to kindly propose the welcome address. Over to Jagdish bhai.
Yeah. Jagdish bhai, please unmute yourself.
उसको अनम्यूट नहीं कर रहा है
हो गया. Hello, good morning to everybody.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Namaskar, Subhrabhat, and welcome to this great event of Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda in collaboration with National Service Scheme. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Parimal Vyas, Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, who is the central force, guiding force, our patron for series of webinar that we have been conducting in the university. He is the one who is icon of Indian academics, who is going to be putting his best to see that at MS University, National Education Policy is in operation very soon. Not only in academics, but in other institutes like NCC, Unnat Bharat and Rashtriya Seva Yojana. I am very happy to have our Vice Chancellor with us in this national level seminar for national program called NSS. I welcome you, sir. I welcome Dr. S.K. Nanda, sir, IAS, former chairperson of GSFC, Managing Director. We have pleasure of working with him in so many capacities. He is the one who has given us a Center for Social Responsibility, Corporate Social Responsibility. He has been supporting us in our extension, research, and academic work. He has been part of faculty for so many decades. Whenever whenever he is in Baroda, we always have occasions of interacting with him. I welcome you, sir. I welcome Dr. Kamal Kumar Kar, sir, head National Service Scheme, New Delhi, who has been with us since so many years, a very focal point of National Service Scheme in Gujarat. He had worked as regional director, and I welcome you also. I am very happy to welcome Professor P.S. Chakravarti, who is director of IQAC, and our collaborator. He has, under his directorship, we have been able to organize so many webinars, in our university. I am happy to welcome. I am happy to welcome Sunita Nabia, program coordinator, NSS, Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. I am very happy to have the program coordinators of various universities of Gujarat, program officers of various colleges and the University of Gujarat, and NSS volunteers who have registered for this great event. Today is a very historic day, very great day, 23rd September. So on which we are here to resolve our sankalp to transform India through national education policy. It is the youth of the country that decides the destiny of the country, and youth involved in the higher education institutions, have got great potentials, and it is the responsibility of youth to see that the country develops, and that is why National Service Scheme (NSS) is known for. It is one of the biggest and very largest program of the youth. Crores of NSS volunteers have enrolled themselves in the NSS program. I have fortune of associating myself since 40 years in the NSS, and NSS is the faith of the country, because it is the youth who decides the destiny of the country, and we are at a juncture where national education policy is introduced, and this is truly national education policy which will instill national spirit in the youth, and the youth.
जगदीश भाई म्यूट हो गया आपका.
Sir, not able to hear.
हाँ म्यूट हो गया.
Gujarat University and the program officer attended. It gives me immense joy to engage in this program. Once again, I welcome you all in this great event of Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jagdish Bhai, for the welcome speech. Well, the national education policy has been on the forefront of discussion since a few months, since it has been given by the central government. It has very important features about school education as well as higher education. The school education, which is the building block of youth itself. In fact, this is perhaps the 13th webinar in the series of webinars that we have organized about national education policy. And we are committed towards its implementation as well. The role of co-curricular activities in the life of a college going student cannot be underestimated. And towards that, we had several lectures towards nation building by youth through NCC, and today we will be discussing what can happen through NSS, what are the possibilities of nation building by through NSS, the National Service Scheme. As far as the series of webinars are concerned, as far as the implementation is concerned, I think this entire series of events has been conceptualized, initiated, and taken forward by the inspiration of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Parimal Vyas. He is an Executive Council member of National Board of Accreditation and has been the chairman of several peer teams of NAC, that is the National Accreditation and Assessment Council. May I now request Professor Parimal Vyas, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, to kindly address the webinar. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar, Suprabhat. Dr. Chakravarti, I hope I am audible to all
Yes,
of
you are audible, sir. Loud and clear, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. And at the outset, Suprabhat, Namaskar, and on behalf of the Maharaja Sayajirao of University of Baroda, I take this opportunity to welcome all the attendees and the distinguished two experts who are with us. We always get support, blessings and inspiration, love and affection from our own Nanda sir, former MD GSFC. He always has a special place for MSU in his heart. So we welcome you, sir. And the leader who leads the activities of NSS from the front at the national level, the director of NSS and a beloved colleague, Professor Kar, my deans of the various faculties of the MS University of Baroda, other attendees and all those who are with me on Facebook. As you all know, 29th of July, Government of India approved the National Education Policy, and this National Education Policy, which is known as Rashtriya Shiksha Niti, which is a blueprint for self-reliant India. We have received this policy after 34 long years, and as we all now understand, because we are now having a series of webinars, but for the benefit of those attendees who are participating these webinar for the very first time, because as you all know that the Maharaja Sayajirao of University of Baroda has been entrusted and recognized with an initiative of the Government of India known as Unnata Bharat Abhiyan. And under the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, from 21st to 24 September, we have planned several webinars, especially for the young students of our university and other attendees, to reach out to them, to make them understand and to deal with those issues which directly, it confronts the students and their lives in the future and their career. We are celebrating, as the Government of India Minister of Education has announced, it is known as Shiksha Parva from 21st to 25th of September. We are celebrating this, and today this webinar, as you all know, is organized on a very important theme, that it is we in fact will get guidance from two experts on transforming youth for nation building. And the program is organized specifically with the initiative of National Service Scheme volunteers, NSS volunteers and others. I'm very happy to see Professor Jagdish Solanki, our own Corona warrior, Professor Solanki. Happy to see you back, though it will take few more days to get that momentum. But I'm very happy to see that now you have joined back and then you're passing through this new normal. Our wishes are there with you, and let me switch over to the topic. I will take couple of your minutes to share some of my thoughts on, as you all know that Honorable Prime Minister, when he talked about Atmanirbhar Bharat during the lockdown period, one of the important aspect, one of the important component of these Atmanirbhar Bharat, which he talked about, is the demographic dividend. You know that India is one of the youngest countries in the world with an average age of 29 years.
મારો સિક્કો મારીને અને સ્કેન કરીને મોકલી આપે.
I would request all attendees to put their mic on a mute so that we can have a smooth intellectual interaction. So as you know that India is one of the youngest country in the entire world with an average age of 29 years. It is the home for the highest number of youth in the world, which constitutes around 28% of our country's population, and half of the population is below the age of 25 and a quarter is below the age of 14. I'm giving you this figure is that we all should realize that India's young population is our most valuable asset, but then it also poses a very big challenge to all of us. And if we will not put in efforts strategically to inculcate, nurture the values in them, if we will not develop right kind of attitudes in them, if we will not provide them kind of a conducive environment to them, if we develop skills which are required, prepare them to face the world tomorrow, these opportunity which we talk about in form of demographic dividend, it would become a liability, and it can create a very big issue, not for the country but even for the entire world. But I think we need not worry about it. And almost in all policies that you know, Government of India, when talks about Make in India, Digital India, Skill India, Swasthya India, Swachha India, and list can go on. Most of the policies of the Government of India focuses on the youth of our country. We all should realize at the same time that Indian youth, the current youth, probably I hope all of you must have heard of the term called millennials. They are very different. They are very, very innovative. They believe in experiential learning. They want autonomy. They want independence. They are very optimist. They are ready to take risk, isn't it? But they also need more guidance. They need proper career counseling. They need mentoring. They need coaching. They need counseling. And young Indians, they are interested in pursuing higher education. Honorable Prime Minister, when unveiled the policy, which is now known as National Education Policy 2020, very categorically, he emphasized upon one aspect, that this policy focuses on creating job makers rather than job seekers. When you talk about national education policy, today even the admissions which students they strive for, the admissions which they take, the higher studies that they pursue for, sometimes it gives us pain because they look at the placement opportunities. There is nothing wrong with placement opportunities, but then they choose the course in which they feel that they will have bright or better placement opportunities. In fact, what we need a paradigm shift in our country, and probably that would now happen with the national education policy. And today's youth want freedom and independence, as I said, but then there are certain challenges also which we face. And which are those challenges? I believe the biggest challenge that we face, and which we all will collectively will to address in order to make the youth of today understand that you please believe in yourself. You can make it. You can and you will. Please do not look at the world. Please do not look at your education as from the point of employment guarantee. This is very, very important. Another important challenge that we face as Indians and with regard to youth is they have a fear of missing out. They have a fear of missing out. Now, this is probably this is what some research studies have brought out, that the fear of, even I have said in several platforms, that the fear of unknown, it also influences them adversely. We are facing two kind of obesity with a kind of a lifestyle that the current youth has adopted. I'm not critical about the lifestyle that they have adopted, but then you look at the obesity of two kinds. Number one, where they really don't want to eat anything, they are conservative, or those another one where I think they that are facing the problem of obesity, of a different kind. The another important challenge that we really need to address as Indians is that the current youth, their focus on the materialistic approach, materialism. This is very, very important. We really need to make them understand. And I believe when I'm addressing to the volunteers of NSS and we are going to get guidance. See, I congratulate Professor M.N. Parmar, Professor Jagdish Solanki and Professor Sunita Nambiar for getting two wonderful experts. One who has spent entire life in corporates and, governance. Dr. Nandaji is with us. Oh, that's great simply to have him here today. And the another, great, practitioner of national service scheme at the national level. We extend our greetings to Dr. Kaur now, because now I understand, I was told by Professor Parmar that you are now going to look after these activities at the national level. I would personally request you that in the entire country, let me share with all my attendees, I would not say that I was, but I still believe, I cherish the philosophy of the national service scheme. When I was a student of these very university, I have participated in various activities of NSS and NSS camp. And probably that is why I can really appreciate the efforts put in by the Faculty of Social Work. For those attendees who are with us today, who may not have much idea of national service scheme, I'm very happy to share with you that yes, the Maharaja Sayajiri of University of Baroda, in fact, it is this university which in fact is responsible for conceptualizing and taking this concept of national service scheme at the national level. I would request all attendees. Please put your mic on a mute. I hope I'm audible. Hello.
Audible, sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah. Please, I would request all attendees and panel members to put their mic on a mute. This is very important. And let me share a couple of my thoughts. The University Grants Commission headed by Dr. Radhakrishnan, which we all know, recommended these introduction of national service scheme. It was year 1960 when Professor K.G. Sayuddin studied national service by students implemented outside India and then recommended it to the government. And it was September 24, 1969. The then Union Education Minister Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao launched this NSS program in 37 universities. Today is 23rd of September. I take this opportunity to convey my greetings and wishes to each and every volunteer of NSS and to Professor Kaur and the entire Faculty of Social Work. Because we are just one day ahead. We are celebrating NSS Day on each of the year on 24th of September. The National Service Scheme above all focuses on community social outreach. It wants students to move out of the campus, go and interact with the community, understand their problems, try to help them, try to provide them support, offer the practical solutions which the community is facing, and then also participate in various kinds of community activities in a big way. NSS focuses, strategically on developing leadership qualities and developing democratic attitude. This is very, very important. NSS, as a set of activities for young students, above all also focuses on national integration. राष्ट्र धर्म हमारा सबसे पहला धर्म है. So it focuses on national integration and it also focuses on social harmony. As we all know that the motto of the National Service Scheme is not me but you. This is very, very important. We should not forget that we are in the state of Gujarat, which has the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi ji, who in fact brought the concept of cooperation, one for all and all for one. This is very, very important. And the Maharaja Sayagiri of University of Baroda and the National Service Scheme, they conduct different sets of activities. I will not give you a detailed description, but be it Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, be it celebration of 150th birth anniversary of the father of nation Mahatma Gandhi, or be it International Yoga Day celebration, or we want to address various social issues like make this country free of plastics, say no to plastics, or promote tree plantation, or go for blood donation, or it may be celebration of Independence Day or Republic Day or Raksha Bandhan, or there are challenges and calamities and the problems that we face, like it could be flood or famine or earthquake, helping Kerala, or participating in Tiranga Yatra, and then it may be also Gandhian way of life for human perfection, or cultivating unity consciousness for self-transformation. Through the set of NSS activities, which the university organizes, I'm very happy to share with you that there are with the able guidance of our program officers of each faculty and the faculty of social work, the faculty of social work for the NSS volunteers, where I think the number is more than now 1,000. I wish and I expect that each and every student under the implementation of national education policy will have to participate either in NCC or NSS. I would request the team of the faculty of social work, because now we have decided to implement this policy of national education. Please design certain courses. Please design 2 credit, 1 credit courses, which now we will offer to all students of the Maharaja Sayagiri of University of Baroda. I would say that our faculty is very vibrant in conducting NSS activities. I was told that one of our student, Ankit, has now been adjudged as one of the awardee at the state level, but I'm not happy. We need to take this at the national level. And when Professor Kar is with us, the Maharaja Sayagiri of University of Baroda can become a hub for developing certain courses which we can offer in almost all 1093 universities at the national level. This is an opportunity, but then it is a challenge also. But I look at it more as an opportunity rather than a challenge. In fact, we have been conducting, our university has been conducting national integration camp for last couple of years. And our honorable chief minister and our honorable education minister, Chirasma Sahab, they are all, providing us a lot of encouragement and support. We conduct, we participate in all civic activities, be it, distribution of masks or distribution of fruits and medicines, reaching out to old people in hospitals or old age homes, or maybe what we call it as that various kind of camps that we conduct, digital medical camp we conduct, various kinds of disaster awareness programs, voting awareness, entrepreneurship awareness, the state level, national level NSS camp, and the list can still go on. I'm very happy to share with you that our students have participated in Karuna Jeev Daya Abhiyan, Candle March, and we have also organized self-defense camps, a series of activities with a focus on females and the women. There's a long list. We in fact, our students are participating in HIV/AIDS awareness program and various rural camps, Sakhi 2019 or first aid and civil defense camp or maybe various other kinds of activities related to mental health, physical health of our students and the others. So I'm very happy. I wanted to provide a complete canvas. The national education policy, be it a school education, the first part, or be it second part, the higher education, this policy is all inclusive. It is integrative, as I said. It is equitable. The policy lays a strategic emphasis on Divyang or socially disadvantaged groups. Our expectation from these webinar is that how can we, improve the employability skill also on one hand, and how can we nurture the entrepreneurship skills in our youth on the other hand. We will have to strike a right kind of a balance in our young ignited minds. And I will tell you, when you talk about NSS, National Service Scheme, our Honorable Prime Minister himself, introduces himself, calls, talks about himself as he is the Pradhan Sevak. Now that is the, I believe, service to the nation. राष्ट्र सर्वोपरि है और राष्ट्र धर्म उस सर्वोपरि है हमारे लिए. So I think we belong to a country which believes in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and where probably if we want to change the whole world, if we want to create a wonderful, beautiful, peaceful, harmonious world of tomorrow, it can happen, where I believe NSS can play a significant role. And that is one of the purpose of these webinar. Once again, I appreciate the presence of all attendees today in this webinar. I know it has almost become a routine, and I'm so happy. I appreciate all my deans who are with me, that every day either at 11 or 11:30, it is like a daily prayer that we make. We meet here online, virtually, and then we try to learn a new facet of implementation of the national education policy. Ours is, as I've said several times, the MS University of Baroda is a multi-educational research university. The expectations from us, they are manifold, and I'm sure with a team that we have at MSU and the Faculty of Social Work, which is now rated as the third best faculty at the national level, I appreciate the set of activities that you conduct as a team, and we wish that this part, the social service part, be it NSS, be it NCC, be it ACC, be it physical education, be it yoga, be it culture, be it health, be it rural development, I would request the entire team that you please sit together, think through, and then look for creative ways of implementing this national education policy in an innovative way. It is not that it is a routine document that has come and will implement. This policy offers us an opportunity to innovate, think through, and do it in a very, very creative and innovative way. It is not just a lecture that we have arranged. We are going to, learn. We are going to get a lot of tips. We are going to get a lot of ideas, which would be of a great significance to all of us. And I'm sure there will be a lot of takeaways for all attendees and all, panel members who are with us today in the morning for these very important webinar. Because if someone can make a difference to the whole world, to the whole country, to the whole nation, it is young people, young India. And I think let us make it very big. I'm quite optimistic about it, and I appreciate the support that we keep on getting from each one of you. So with these words, I appreciate patient listening that has happened with me from each one of you, and we look forward for the same kind of support in near future from each one of you, and with my best wishes for implementation of national education policy. I hand it over to Professor M.N. Parmar. Over to you, Professor M.N. Parmar. Thank you one and thank you very much. Namaskar. Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I request Professor Sunita Nambiar to introduce Professor Dr. Kamal Kumar Kar, sir. Over to Professor Sunita Nambiar.
Good morning, Namaskar. Thank you, Professor Parimal Vyas sir, for laying a sound foundation for today's webinar and reinforcing faith in the youth volunteers of the National Service Scheme and also in our work. It's a pleasure to introduce Dr. Kamal Kumar Kar, who is currently the Assistant Program Advisor at the National Service Scheme headquartered at New Delhi. He has an MSc in Zoology and he joined the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports in the year 2001. He's got a PhD in the Gandhian thought from the Gujarat Vidyapeeth in the year 2018. He has visited a lot of countries which include China, Japan, Kazakhstan, and also attended the BRICS Youth Summit. So that is where, a lot of culmination of thoughts on what the youth can do in the developing countries is deliberated. His achievements include in the area of international and national publications on disaster management, where he's done a lot of work also in the area of disaster management during the tsunami, the cyclone in Odisha, and currently also for COVID-19. His work experience has been that he's been the regional head at various locations in the country, including Bhopal, Kolkata, Ahmedabad, and New Delhi. And currently working at the headquarters in New Delhi since 2019 at the Directorate of NSS, and also works as the technical head for the social media division of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. So we have the pleasure of working with you here, where you have conducted the National Integration Camp, and your guidance and your help for all our activities, which we have received in Gujarat, and we look forward from Delhi also. Thank you, sir, for being with us in this webinar. May I hand over to you, sir, and then we would have our second speaker. Kamal Kumar, sir.
Namaskar. Professor Parimal Vyas, our esteemed Vice Chancellor in मेरी आवाज आ रहा है?
हाँ सर, आपकी आवाज आ रही है, ऑडिबल है सर.
Okay, thank you, sir. Professor Parimal Vyas, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the Maharaj Sayajirao University, Baroda, and our NSS alumni, I can say the senior NSS functionary. He was volunteer, he was program officer, as I know personally, and I had a good time with him. Nanda Saab, really you are the dynamic person from whom I have learned a lot of things. Magan Bhai Parmar Saab, Jagdish Bhai, and all the professor, dean and faculty members and registrar, all people who are joined in this webinar. A warm welcome from the NSS Directorate. I will not take much of time because tomorrow is a national award, national day, that is NSS Foundation Day is tomorrow. And Honorable President is going to give the NSS awards for 2018-19 virtually. So we are literally running from pillar to post to finalize all these things. So I have already told Parmar Saab that I will not take much of time, but I will love to spare some of time and to share my feelings. And I hope Nanda Saab is there and he will guide us how we will take further from here about how we will transform the youth, how the youth will be involved to transform the new India and new education policy, what will be the role in new education policy, and mainly being the head of the NSS headquarters, I have some things to share with all of you. Going to NSS ideology, and if you see the NSS objective, this is personality development for the students through involvement in community services. Oh, so when we'll see the national rebuild, national nation building work, राष्ट्र निर्माण की बात जब हम करते हैं, in that time we'll see the students are, the youth are the main component in that. The volunteer term which is used, literally the volunteer, the meaning of volunteer is not simply on a pen and paper, it is written that is you are a volunteer, you are boasting that I am a volunteer and I am doing the things. Volunteer is a person who is ready to sacrifice his life without any expectations from the society to contribute something in a positive direction. So our volunteers, our students who are studying and they are taking NSS or NCC or Scouts or any activity, voluntary activity, the motive behind that is one, that they are ready to sacrifice themselves. They are ready to be killed also to devote some of their best thing for the development of the community. So that is the volunteerism. Mainly this volunteerism factor is going decreasing day by day because the youth is not that much oriented. So far NSS is concerned, hardly 5 to 7% of the total student population we are able to cover due to certain constraints are there. Maybe the financial, maybe the administrative constraints are there, but still then, Honorable Prime Minister himself is keen to leverage this rate of NSS from the current to a major move that in end of this 2 years, the total volunteers, including NSS, NYKs, everything, we want that we are in a position that there may be increased to 1 crore. So at least total population, if we take the total population, at least 70.75% or at least 1% of the total population must do voluntary work. Honorable Prime Minister himself told that you should devote some time for the society, for the nation, as in case of Shramdan, Safai Abhijan, the Clean India, Digital India, all these activities what Honorable Prime Minister has told, NSS, volunteers and all the youth fraternity, they are devoted to do this thing and they are working day by day. Recently during this COVID pandemic, he gave a clarion call to all NSS volunteers to join the COVID warrior group, they become a COVID warrior. And in response to his call, I am very happy to share with all of you that around 25 lakhs current and alumni NSS fraternity, the NSS volunteers, 18 lakh are the current volunteers and 27 lakhs, at least the old volunteers, the 25 lakh volunteers, they have came forward to work, and 1.2 lakh, 1,20,000 volunteers across the country, they started working shoulder to shoulder with the frontline workers. Some of our volunteers, they got COVID positive, they got infected accidentally by this disease, they got themselves cured, and again they came to the field to work. So this is the spirit of the nationalism which is there in the NSS volunteers. So National Education Policy 2020 is giving a wider opportunity for the social segment. There is a seva factor in the new education policy. The seva factor is there. Two things which are there in the new education policy, because a lot of deliberations are required, and now NSS, we are trying to conduct at least thousands of webinars covering the teeth and bits nitty-gritty of the new education policy across the country, and by September 30 we are targeting to complete at least 1,000 webinars all over the country to spread the new education policy and to detail, to brief the entire student community, entire NSS fraternity, the public member, the community members, what are the salient features of this new education policy 2020. So this is a long vision and it is there, the vision is very broad. Each student should be equipped with a vocational skill so that he can become a job giver, not a job seeker. Because I am very fortunate to work under the guidance of Honorable Prime Minister when he was Honorable Chief Minister in Gujarat. Since that time, I have worked in Gujarat, I have learned a lot. So his point is that the youth should be a job giver. So how he can be a job giver instead of a job seeker? Because until and unless the youth acquire some highly productive and highly quality skill, the production oriented skill or some soft skill. So the skill is must, and the Skill India mission is working in that regard, and new education policy has a major component in that. The youth, whoever is there in the graduation level, whenever he is graduating from the current system, he should be equipped with a skill. So that skill development point is an excellent one, which is a major component in new education policy. And the second is involvement in the community services, the seva factor. So they should be oriented and they should be, I am not saying compulsorily, but they definitely should work in the community, because recently it has been, the honorable, if you go to the philosophy of establishment of NSS, it is started in Gandhian Bath centenary year, 1969. So in these 50 years, the core value of NSS is not changed. As per Gandhiji, if whatever the benefits it is planning by the government, planning by the administrators, it should go to the last mile. It should reach at the person which is the last mile of the society. Until and unless it reaches at the last mile, then it is not fruitful. So to fulfill that one, the NSS programs, we have the regular activities which is conducted in the community as well as in the campus, and the special camping, this residential special camping for 7 days, which is the beauty of NSS. It has been organized in a remote adopted village, and in the adopted village, we have to adopt this village of the slum in the urban area for constantly for 3 years, so that a significant change can be visible. And NSS manual says we can adopt a village until and unless the holistic development and the overall development of the village is not happened. So there will be a entry point of view, well, the entry picture as well as exit picture, so that we can show that how we have contributed our best to develop the society, to develop the community. And our NSS, our volunteers who are at the higher education, be it technology students, be it medical students, faculty of law, faculty of commerce, arts, science, and all the things. Now in the forthcoming period, it will be liberal studies. So whoever are there, whatever skill they are having, whatever expertise they are having, they are trying to become part and parcel of a problem solving process. So this is the one of the major objective of NSS, that they should be part and parcel of a problem solving process. They should help the people to find out the solution to the problems what they are facing. So this is a broad area of NSS activities, and we think in new education policy 2020, our role will be much more, and we have to rethink. I can say, I am not telling the word redesigning, but the revisiting the NSS principle, revisiting the NSS planning, it is there. And when due course, ministry will be taking the step that how to make changes, how to make modification in the current setup. In the current setup means current program schedule, current program guidelines, to cope up with the new challenges and new demand which is coming in the new education policy 2020. And mainly the new education policy is aiming for transforming India, and youth being a major segment and NSS being a more, I can say, the vibrant group, more functioning group, and more visible enthusiastic group, which is full of enthusiasm, full of energy, full of ideas, and full of innovative ideas. I hope in coming days NSS will be taking a lead in this area, and in the transformation of the country, in the nation building process. Definitely NSS will do its best. Now the new normal is there, and we are now more and more visible on the virtual medium, virtual mode. So the new challenges are there, and simultaneously opportunities are there, and our youth definitely will take benefit of these situations, and they will try to do some innovative things which will definitely help to uplift their capacity, their skill, their ability, as well as they will become more and more available for the community development. Simultaneously, they will work on their career, they will work on their employability qualities, and definitely the new term, the motto of NSS, generally all were telling not me but you, and recently 15-20, I think 1 month back, Honorable Prime Minister himself was reviewing, and there was a call that what you call in Hindi the motto. So now it has been decided and motto is circulated, Swayam se pehle aap, not me but you, and in the Hindi it is now Swayam se pehle aap. So such a dynamic vision personality is there, such a dynamic leader the country is having. So definitely NSS will come with the golden colors in coming days by working towards the nation development process, the community development process, and definitely new education policy 2020 we will fit into a major role for the students, for the faculty members, and I hope Gujarat, as Parimal Bhai told and Parmar Sahab also told, we have with collaboration of all you people and with blessings and support from Nanda Sahab, like all senior bureaucrats, we have set example at the national level in Gujarat, and in coming days also definitely Gujarat will lead the nation in the NSS also in the national development process, as well as making new chapters and new pictures and new canvas will be open for the youth of Gujarat, for the NSS volunteers, for transforming the new India through the new education policy 2020. And I hope I will not take much of time because I would love to listen Nanda Saab, because his experience will be helping us to go forward in a better manner. And I thank all the faculty members and thank the authorities who have given me a chance to speak and share my views with all of you. Thank you, Namaskar and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. You have given your very important time to us. We know you are very busy today, but then you have come to our webinar, share your expertise on transforming youth for nation building. That is very important. Thank you, Kamal sir. Now I request Professor Sunita Nambiar to introduce Dr. S. K. Nanda Saab. Sunita.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure and a privilege to introduce Dr. S.K. Nanda, IAS, amongst us, who is amongst us for this webinar. Most of us know him as the chairman and the managing director of Gujarat State Fertilizers and Chemicals Limited, where he served from 2014 to 2016. Dr. Nanda is a very senior IAS officer and has held distinguished positions in the government of Gujarat during his career. He has been a collector in the districts of Down, Baroda, Panchmahal, Banaskantha, Junagadh, and during his stint with the government, Dr. Nanda has successfully handled key government departments like health, tourism, information and broadcasting, finance, food and civil supplies, forest and environment. With a rich experience in the field of management and administration, finance, health, Dr. Nanda has contributed many articles in the subject of professional importance as well as written books. He's bagged many awards, including the commendation from the Prime Minister's Office for excellent work in health sector in the post-2002 riots. He served as the chairman at the Gujarat Green Revolution Company Limited, GSFC Agrotech Limited, and the Gujarat Chemical Port Terminal Company Limited, and also serves as the director of GSPC Gas Company Limited, Bhavnagar Energy Company Limited, Indian Potash Limited, Tunisian Indian Fertilizer, the Fertilizer Association of India, and the Gujarat Info Petro Limited. Dr. Nanda has also served as non-executive director of Gujarat Narmada Valley Fertilizers and Chemicals Limited from 2015 to 2016. A recipient of many awards during his career, he holds a master's degree in political science and law and a PhD in rural economics. A pleasure to have Dr. Nanda sir with us. Sir, over to you. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
You are audible.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
A good welcome to all of you, including Vice Chancellor Dr. Parimal, Kamal in Delhi, and Parmarji, Mr. Solanki, Nambiarji, and the other people who are associated with this NSS activity and the entire education policy. Let me tell you, this education policy, which has been now announced in 2020 July, is coming out with a lot of concepts and a lot of dream. I believe that if this policy is going to take a shape by 2030, which is the, I think that is the length and breadth of the policy, because it will take 10 years to prepare a youth to become productive. So I have a feeling that these concepts will definitely yield results, provided our teachers, our institution, our infrastructure and funding. These four things are really to back up. Like for example, this time they have come up with concepts like these ECC, that is early childhood and care education policy. They've come out with the teachers eligibility test. They've come out with the MERU, that is multidisciplinary educational research universities. They've come out with GER improvement, that is the gross enrollment ratios to be up. They've come out with the ODL, that is the open distance learning, and the NIOH to be a part of the integration of the education policy. They've also come up with the gender inclusion, that is how the female child could be made to study and they will not be able to drop out. The dropout ratio today is nearly about quite high, and they want to bring it up to small ratio, particularly in the plus grade 5th and grade 8th. Normally there are dropouts. So they want to address that problem through the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan policy, which was there in the earlier regime, and also through this new policy. They've also come up with a new concept called the SEZ, that is the Special Education Zone, following the tracks of the Commerce Department Special Economic Zone. They've come out with the national book, what we call the promotion policy, to encourage good books and the books which are creative and that can give a guidance. These are all things which really can reshape our mind, reorient the individual. And one point which Parimal Bhai said, I absolutely agree with the fact that the modern day students, unfortunately I should not comment, they are very individualistic. I am now having a lot of occasions in which I have to take up the social causes, particularly when it comes to the dryland farming and when it comes to eradication of illiteracy. I don't find these people coming on the follow-up day, even if we are giving them some money. It is not a question of money, it's a question of how you are orienting themselves. And that orientation will be definitely taking place from the school itself. And the school itself has to not become a place for degree. See, we are all hankering after degrees as passport to jobs. Let us get out of that old concept that we need a degree, and without a degree, the parents consider a child a failure, is a burden. That kind of psychology is ruining us. If a child has got a specific set of skills, a specific set of leadership, or specific points of entrepreneurship, or he has got the potency to become a communication chief, I think that child would be definitely setting the whole world in order. Instead of that, if we have a child who is having a lot of degrees, let us say he has got 5 degrees from MSU, but he is not able to lead, he is not able to speak, he is not able to communicate. What is the point in having the degree? I am having a lot of IIT graduates who have worked with me in the IAS. They are absolutely not that effective compared to the people who are post-school grade when it comes to organizing, mobilizing the people to get the things done. We are now in a stage where, as Parimal and other people were saying, our Kamal was saying, that if you want to cash the dividend of this geographic dividend, that is our population dividend of 60% youth coming up in the next 5-10 years, we have to make these people not sickly. We have not to make these people weak. We have not to make these people unstable. We have to make them robust. We have to make them stable. We have to make them mentally oriented, and we have to also see that physically they are done. Now, now the NSS is coming into the picture. How the NSS can play a role? To the NSS, first of all, Kamal, I have wanted to say that NSS is not now a part of the government only. NSS will make it a cadre. Like in every village, you must have an NSS board. NSS has to now grow up to be a cadre, like a party. Of course, party is done with a political purpose, and a lot of other wrong things are being done. The NSS will be doing it as a part of the education policy to recruit people, not recruit and pay them, but to enroll people who would be working for you at the grassroots level along with the NSS volunteers in the schools. So the school and the colleges NSS volunteers would be your number, it will be the outer ring, the inner ring will be your people at the village. How will they interact with the villagers? Unless you have got a cadre in the village. So there has to be communication from satellite to the people. Only if we dump people from the village, suppose today I send 2 volunteers, and if your fellows are not there, there is something called NSS. NSS role hai, NSS is supposed to do this, they are supposed to orient us. If they don't have a background knowledge, nothing will help. I remember when I was posted as a school student at the last 11 when it was not a 10+2, I was at that time the 11 system was going in CBSE. I was posted as an NSS volunteer in Mana camp in Raipur for the Bangladeshi refugees. Now, when we were posted, no one knew what was NSS. So they thought as we are all foreigners, we are invaders, we are somehow competitors. So people have to know what is NSS before we come to them. So do we have to have a background thing? That is one point of which I wanted to say. How is the NSS going to play a role? Am I audible, Parmarji?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now the point I'll say, I'll quickly come up the points where the NSS and this new education policy and the reorientation of the children with this, not to take care of the degrees much, integration, holistic approach, taking the skill set as the primary platform. See, when it comes to, we have to first go with a background called the Chalo Gam Chalo. We have to now do de-urbanization. And the de-urbanization can only take place if we give importance to the villages. And villages will be the place where the NSS has to be, cadre has to be brought up. And our NSS volunteers in MS University or the schools, they will be able to do a fertilization. They will cross-fertilize each other. Now, where we can do, see, nowadays we are coming back to the era of use of iron. लोहे बर्तन का यूज कर रहे हैं हम लोग. पहले क्या था? एल्युमिनियम था. पहले क्या था? वो मेलामाइन था. पहला क्या था? प्लास्टिक था. Now these are all creating problems of the health. Throughout the world there is a relation. The youth who is now studying in MS University and who is a NSS fellow, let's say example, he picks up the point that the लोहे का बर्तन का अभी value है. So now if we become like only Chennai and Kerala are the only two places, a few villages are doing the lohe bartan. But if we come up with the lohe bartan, and we will be changing the nutritional profile of the Indians by giving them iron. Once you cook in the iron thing, we can sell iron bartan. We can completely reverse the model of the imported stuff which is coming. I'll tell you the president of Madagascar. Like a kada, today we are saying that kada lo India se COVID mein. We say kada lo and you get prevented. Now Madagascar president, he came up with a drink which was locally made by the local people and he sold it to the entire African continent, and that has become a biggest export item of Madagascar, a small island country. Now we can also, with our 582 herbs and verbs, herbal and roots which are there in all over India, we will be able to take care of the entire preventive health concept, because we are only running after mask, we are running after plasma, we are running after vaccine, because the WHO talks of and the USA talks of. We have got the strength, we have never got into the COVID. Come what may be COVID, we'll face it because of our masala, because of our, but we are living at that stage. We are not taking it forward. Let the youth come up with the stage saying that our entire local herbs and things, that should be sold, that should be circulated, that should be made popular, that should be nutritionalized. For example, wooden crafts. Now entire world is digital world. A man who is, let us say in Africa, he is able to sell his wooden crafts, and the Amazon is picking up his name and he's selling it to you, and you take it in your own house. But he is selling it from, let us say, 5,000 kilometers away. Now, if you, as an NSS volunteer, encourage these people to take up the wooden crafts in the villages, to iron bartan in the villages, or you, with your own awareness program, you are able to create an anti-exploitation wing. For example, people are cheating them when it comes to cotton crop. There is a lot of cheating done. There is a lot of admixturing done. If there is a lot of low bargaining done, the traders, they try to take money from the farmers and they take the siphon of the profits. These are the youth. If they are in the villages, they would be able to see to it that the farmers' interests are protected. Similarly, produce, how to preserve the produce. The preservation of produce is not only through cold chain and the cold storages. There are so many traditional ways of doing it. We know about it, but we are not practicing it. If this youth, they start doing this skill set and they practice it and make it institutionalized and they charge some commission, I think they would be able to do an entrepreneurship come profit come an employability course, because they are quite aware of the knowledge and they are implementing the knowledge to the practical results, and these practical results is going to flow off into the areas of the villages. Basic foods, for example, cereal, abhi nagli hai, dang ke. अभी वो जो मकई है, or what you call these are the foods which are what you call the cereal, not the cereals, the other kinds of millets or the ragis. They are now catching the market. For example, Nagli papad. I remember why I told you. Nagli was not known until I was in dance. Now Nagli papad is the biggest hot item selling in the entire Surat city. Can you believe it? Now the Nagli papad, the dangis who are making the Nagli papad, they are making money out of the Nagli, and therefore I wanted to see to it that Nagli should not be swept away by the wheat. People started sending wheat. I said, no wheat here, only Nagli. So how do I do it? So I have to see to it that the Nagli should be sold. How can you sold? Because people will not know how to make the Nagli roti. So they let us sell it in the form of papad. So this papad demand has made the supply of the Nagli from the Adangs. I am giving an example to see that it is stabilized. So those farmers are now getting the price advantage. Those farmers are similar tarbooj. The tarbooj was being sold in trucks to Bombay. Now we said that we should not sell in trucks, we should sell it in kilo. Because if you sell it in truck, it has no value. If you sell it in kilo, it has got a value. So those who are selling it in trucks at 10,000 rupees, now they're selling the trucks at 1 lakh rupees. Now who is that youth who is going to do? The youth who is a aware youth, who is a local youth, who is an NSS youth, who knows the job, who knows the calculation, who knows the profit loss, and he is helping the empowering the local community. These are the kinds of things by which this skill set is helping the community. And what Mr. Parmar and others were saying that tum pehle socho humko, Kamal was saying that mere pehle tum, that is only a the slogan, but the slogan has to be translated into action through these kind of deeds. Unless we do, for example, e-commerce. E-commerce is taking place in a very big way in the areas to come. Some companies are going to do e-commerce in the urban areas. Now the e-commerce mein jo goods sold hone wala hai, it need not be always Japanese goods. It has to be our goods. It can be our toys. It can be our masala thing. It can be our own washing machines. It can be our own kinds of detergents. We are the people who can make it in the low scale. We can be able to do it in the competitive. And a lot of things have started now coming from India. Let me tell you, because I am following the e-commerce. Earlier, all were Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. Chinese has gone away with the COVID. Now, Japanese and others which are there, it is becoming costly. So, our own people, by just taking a profit margin of 2%, a youth can always think of an aware youth, an educated youth, an informed youth, or a knowledgeable youth can be able to do that job. And he can share the benefits, and he can also share the benefits to the people with whom he is working. For example, now it is the days of what you call these aluminium, all these kinds of these offices are being made with aluminium because steel is too heavy. So people who are educates IIT fellows, they are the people I am seeing in the villages who have started coming, and they are able to do some technology training to these people. So from the village also they have started doing the aluminium cutting. In Odisha at least I have seen it. So my point is that this de-urbanization, Chalo Gaon, basic foods, then solarization. Now solar is coming in a big way. If the solar is going in a big way, the maintenance has to be in a big way, the repairs has to be in a mid way. Where will the engineers go? Where will the diplomas go? If they all land up in Baroda, where will the villages? Solar cannot progress in the villages. Only Baroda will have solar. So you can decentralize it. You can divert it. You can distribute those things. This is exactly the point which I am trying to say. Just acquiring the skill set is not enough, but translating into action is important. Not getting a degree in MS University is important, but getting the degree into an actionable item is important. You may have a degree or you may not have a degree, but your experience counts. In USA, even if you have passed out from a University of Karjan, let us say in Karjan in Baroda, they are not saying which kind of university you passed out. But if you have done very good work, creative work, innovative work, and you have resulted in profit, you have resulted in cost cutting, you have resulted in production quality, they are the people who are going to take you there in USA, not the University of Berkeley who is having no experience. So experience and skill set is going to be the rule of the world tomorrow. So the NSS has to be the train on which these passengers should be these boys. These boys have to be told that degree karna, degree lena, and the mother and father of the children should not have that idea that only degree will give them that he is an educated boy. They do not know how to write an application. They do not know how to repair their own set. I went to a place where the daughter does make tea but does not know how to plant a tree. We know how to plant to make a cup of tea, but when I said कि भाई वृक्षारोपण होने वाला है, आप आओ, तुम करो, बोला क्या करने का है? He does not know how to dig it, how much to dig in, how much to give water, how to press that oxygen so the oxygen remains. I am not criticizing. My point is that they are not having that practical orientation. So whether it's a blood donation, whether it's a tree plantation, whether it's a hygienic thing, whether it's a nutritional thing. Now this new policy is also giving emphasis on the nutritional thing, that you cannot have an undernourished, malnourished child. So they are saying the Anganwadis will be becoming strengthened. Now the Anganwadis, how will they becoming the strengthened? Who are going to teach the Anganwadis? A man from Kerala is not going to teach Anganwadi in Padra. So the Padra youth boys have to be trained enough to see to it that the Anganwadi teachers or the workers are trained recipe making, how to make recipes which are interesting to make so that children will start swallowing it or taking it. We have got a lot of midday meal programs in Baroda which are not being received well because the way in which the lady is making is so bad, it is not tasteful at all. So the people, they throw it. So we are giving a record that midday meal में हुआ, पैसा खर्च हुआ, हमने इतना क्यों खिलाया, but the nutrition में D grade आ गया. He is not in A grade. Why? Because he is not taking it, because of the quality, because of the taste, because of the making. So you have to catch the point where we are going wrong. And that wrong, that manufacturing defect or wrongfulness, wherever we are able to detect, these youth with little bit of information, knowledge, awareness, and NSS orientation, they would be able to straighten the whole thing. They can club it, they can share the benefits, they can take the people under their umbrella. I'm not saying they can do free of cost, but they should have that attitude to do it, and they have to share the benefit with the people, and they have to go back to the villages. If they cannot, I'm telling you, this urbanization concept that everyone will go to, I'll travel 80 kilometers, I'll do a job in collector office or in plant and machinery. That concept was an old concept. Now that if you have got imported the idea, you've imported the skill set, that has to be translated into the action at the field level. The new education policy is exactly talking of the skill set that's called, they have called it wrongly, they have called it somewhere the fun classes, or what you call, they have said that it's called the fun days. It's not fun days, it are all orientation days for skilling. Means in this school, there will be hands-on experience and practical experiences would be also shared at the school stage. Like in the USA, in the universities, they are compulsorily to do an internship in any company or in any place. My son, who was in Pennsylvania University, in an engineering subject, he was doing after-sales service in some company, AstraZeneca. He knew what is customer service and support. He said, I'm an engineering student. He said, no, the products of the pharmacies, you have to see where is the problem. So he had to go back to the pharmacy. He had to learn what is, de-learn and learn what is the exact support. So these kind of experiences really help you in getting not only money, also in getting the jobs and also supporting the services. So my own point is that whether it is the basic foods or our oil seeds, or it is solarization, or it is maintenance, or it is rural things where we are importing. Now we want to do import substitution. It can be toys, it can be instruments, it could be knife. For example, I remember when plastic ropes were used for kites, I had banned in as a Secretary Forest that no Chinese rope would be allowed in Gujarat, and it was challenged, and the Supreme Court finally upheld my order, and now the whole country is using this dhaga wala sutli for the kite. It is a 900 crores industry now. Now if we would have taken plastic ropes because it is cheaper, then we would have lost 900 crores in India. A simple idea can cost us 900 crore rupees. Similarly, our health kada, like I told you, Madagascar president, he sold some solution, he sold some liquid, Now entire Africa is out of COVID. Why? Because that solution has worked very well. Our Kada is working very well. I am in now out of Gujarat. I have gone to Ahmedabad station. And with God's again grace, I am not boasting, but I am doing my own local ways to keep myself fit, and I am doing the prescriptions which I think are very important. It is not me alone. It is not me, Dr. Parmar or Dr. Parimal Vyas alone who should think. We should translate and transmit it to others to see that they follow and they do not take into the wrongful medicines and the injections. Because I get calls from people where they say that, sir, can you help us to get these injections by telling the drug controller where we can get it quickly. And they are all 30,000 rupees. It's actually not needed because if you don't have the immunity, these injections will not work. The simple thing. Injection cannot give you power unless you have your own power to throw off the virus. So I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist, but I have got the basic knowledge to realize and practically implement this. So this is exactly what the youth should do at the village level, at the folk level, and after the post degree or diploma level, to see that they are entrepreneurs, they are creators, they are job givers. They can even set the ball in motion by giving the price advantage to the farmers. They can do the bargaining on behalf of the farmers when it comes to mandis, and they can take a commission. After all, he is a local youth, he will take commission. He is not going to only social service. Whether it is the preventive health care, he can do it. He can do the digital uploading, he can do of his own product so that the Amazon can catch hold of him. Suppose Mr. Parmar has got a very good thing which he makes, and I upload his thing, his entire thing in my own way because I am a computer savvy fellow, and he gets orders. Then he will give 2% or 5% of his orders to me, and that is my bread and butter. What is wrong? There is nothing wrong. I will take that thing because I am using my skills to promote the villagers, and the same villagers will get the dollars for the India. So my point is that entirely attitude and approach has to change, and that attitude and approach cannot change all of a sudden now. It has to change with this policy being implemented, and the policy, as it says, is being implemented within next, it has got its fallout or the outcomes in 2030. Now, critically, if you ask me what is the policy lacking here, I only wanted to say that in university like MSU, there is no need of increasing the, what you call that ratio, what you call the general, what you call the general enrollment ratio. We didn't, the MSU, if university, if it is very good, the general enrollment ratio will definitely be high. If a university is not good, the general enrollment ratio will be will go down. If it is a multidisciplinary, it needs funds. It needs funds from companies, corporates, government. The funding part has to be there. Without all the American universities are funded by the companies or the government. Here, that portion is silent. We are not getting any hint how the university's research and the development will be funded, how the innovations will be funded, how then only we'll be able to take the skills thing. So that is a little bit of a thing where I thought I should talk on that point. And secondly, the CSR. We are talking always of CSR, corporate social responsibility, under the New Companies Act. Now, why not they are linking up this education policy in which, as Mr. Parmar was saying, and Mr. Panimal was saying, and Mr. Kamal was saying, that every company has to have at least 2 villages or a group of villages. Everything from A to Z will be theirs. Everything. They are not doing it. They will. So no one is enforcing it. If you do that attachment of the villages under the 5%, 2% profit under the Companies Act, probably those villages will see some change in infrastructure. Today, MS University is better. Why? Because your infrastructure is better. You have got the right scopes, you have got the right instruments, you have got the right gadgets. Suppose you would not be funded, your infrastructure is wrong, your electric supply is wrong. Even if you have got ideas, there is no point in having ideas without money, because ultimately, पेट जब भरता है तब आइडिया निकलता है. आइडिया तो खाली से पेट से निकलता नहीं है. So my point is that the funding portion and the CSR component and the orientation has to be done. And finally, I think this policy has to encourage something called the venture funding for the brilliant students. If we have very good brilliant students and they've got some idea and it needs some support, there has to be some venture funding under the banks. I'm not saying government. And that venture funding should be not more than 3% of loan. If that venture funding is done to an idea to the fellow, and he is able to crack a solution, and he's click a product, he can not only make the country proud, he will also be able to get money, and he will be able to employ people around, and he will be able to withstand that issue of credit and the loan. But if it is at the commercial rate, he will not be able to take feet forward, because he is not that he is not a lakpati to go ahead. So that venture funding to the brilliant students at a post means higher education part has to be there as a part of the national education policy. Then only the bankers will honor the whole thing. Otherwise, the entire policy is completely interdisciplinary. It is completely holistic. It is trying to merge art, science. There is nothing called a man can choose credits. He can have his credits semester wise. All the American and the foreign university kind of concepts. We should know our own knowledge scales. We should know our Ayurveda. We should know our own history. We should have, and we should not only go for degree. We should go for practical orientation. Whatever we now discuss, these are all there in the policy. My only point is that who are the teachers who are going to teach you? Who are the teachers who are going to be eligible for the? Who are the Anganwadis who are going to be taught by the people to see that the Anganwadis are functioning? Who is the funder to see to it that the funding is done to see that all the Anganwadis and the institutions are in proper shape? These are the issues which have to be somehow addressed. If these issues are addressed, I'm telling you, this is a golden eagle which will take us flying higher up. And I am 100% sure this NSS as a cadre has to be there at the grassroots level, not in only universities and schools. If at all we want a totalistic effect out of the entire policy at the national or the regional or the pan-regional level. This is what I thought of. These were my initial points which I thought. I may have been critical, but I thought that since it is an academic concept, academic university sponsored webinar, these points have to be spoken. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You very extensively you talk about transforming youth for nation building, and very nicely you shared about our new education policy, the national education policy, and the how it is going to benefit to the nation, particularly the rural communities. Yes, sir. The under CSR we have lot of funds, and definitely even it will be channelized to develop the NSS or say NSS scheme or say implementation of NSS activities at various level. So I take this opportunity to thank Dr. S.K. Nanda Saab, that though he is in his hometown, connectivity is bit problem, but still, sir, you spend your valuable time and share with us about the national education policy. We know that you have special love for the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda, the Faculty of Social Work, and we always owe a lot to you about your guidance to our university and to the faculty. Thank you very much. I'm thankful to
I
Dr.
hope I am audible, Dr. Parmar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know, because my problem is that my connectivity in this town, I thought whether I have been somehow.
No, I know, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I am thankful to Dr. Kamal Kumar Kar, sir, also. Now, heading Directorate of National Service Scheme at New Delhi. When he was in Gujarat, he has supported to the Maharaja Sayajirao University NSS wings, and he took a lot of initiative, and under his guidance, we made a difference at the state and national level. So now, sir, since you are at the national level, we will get lot of benefits, a lot of projects, and we will be able to implement this NSS and new national education policy at all the level. with your support, we'll be able to make difference. Thank you, Kamalkar sir. I'm thankful to Honorable Vice Chancellor because under his able guidance, we are able to organize these webinars. And sir, the trust that you put in us is a great, and with your support, we are able to organize these webinars, for our university teachers and the NSS volunteers. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I'm thankful to Professor B.S. Chakravarti, IQAC Director, because he is the force behind all these activities, and because of your support, Chakravarti Sahab, we are able to organize this webinar for us. I'm thankful to Professor Jagdish Solanki, though he is a Corona warriors, but he has supported for these programs as NSS Director. We are thankful to Professor Sunita Nambiar, for introducing our chief guest to this webinar. And I'm thankful to all the respected deans, principals, senate and syndicate members, and more specifically, NSS volunteers across the Gujarat states, to participate in this webinar, at the national level. So thank you very much. Thank you to one and all. Thank you very much.